Good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds Show. It's brought to you by two brothers in Stark Vegas, Mississippi. You got a couple of home basketball games this week. You can hit Two Brothers or their new restaurant, sister restaurant, Older Brother Bistro, with those deviled eggs and that Reuben and the fried crab claws, among many other yummy things. Two brothers, older brother, right beside each other in the Cotton District in Stark Vegas. We welcome in Steve Robertson, genespage.com, 247 Sports. Steve joins us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. Steve, do you believe that Coleman Hutzler, defensive coordinator at Mississippi State, will be retained?
I think it's better than 50-50. It's something we've talked about, I guess, off air, for weeks that, I get the sense that, that Jeff Levy wants to keep him. I think, I don't want to speak for Jeff, but just kind of, just talking to, to sources, I get the sense that, that they recognize there's a talent issue. And I don't think it's all just talent, as we discussed before. I mean, you've had some alignment issues and things of that nature. I mean, the defensive product hasn't been good, but I think, they'd rather have some continuity and continue to build. And, it's been a detriment to the team. The defense has been an issue down the stretch. They played a little bit better, but yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not our decision, but I believe that it's better than a 50-50 chance that he's back.
How do you justify keeping Coleman Hutzler to the stockholders? And what I mean by that is the people that sit between the 30s and the people who sit in the club level and the people who buy the skyboxes.
Well, I don't. And, that's the thing that I think about with all this stuff. I never advocate for or against anybody, but, I think if you're on the inside of this thing, you start saying, hey, we've had so much turnover at Mississippi State in the last few years, and we need to make commitments to people and to ideals and principles and things of that nature and push forward. And I suspect when Coleman Hutzler was hired, he was, probably told us, hey, it's probably going to be a 2-year rebuild on defense. But, yeah, and then rumor is that he had a 3-year contract, so clearly they were committed to him when
which
they
was
hired
dumb.
him. And, yeah, and you can say what you want, about that aspect of it. I mean, there's the things I think about too. It's like, if he really did sign a 3-year deal, and we had some open records that suggest there was a 3-year contract there, that this is something that they expected to be a long-term situation, and so now here we are. But yeah, I do believe it's better than 50-50, and I think if you're a fan of Mississippi State, you think, hey, I love Mississippi State, but I don't want to have a 2025 like we had in 2024. I mean, everybody knew that 2024 was going to be at best a 5 or 6 win season, and you lose Blake Shapen, and those expectations kind of go out the window. But you look at what Van Buren has done at times and think, man, if we could just get a few stops here and there, could have won some of these toss-up games down the stretch. And so, I mean, obviously the biggest detriment right now to winning at Mississippi State has been defensive play. Now, how do you fix that? Well, you got to go out and get some guys, but you also got to coach them a lot better.
So I think they need to replace the whole defensive staff, Hutzler, Odom, Bell, and Turner. So you're at, give me your percentages. Where are you on this? 60-40, 70-30, 80-20, he returns 100%? Give me a number.
I don't know that I would go 100%, but I would say it's at least 70-30. It may be higher than that, And, when you look at the recruiting aspect of it, I mean, his linebackers that he's recruited for this class, of course, are really good players. Of course, you're having to kind of sweat this thing out with Tyler Lockhart here, again, who I still think is a state's top defensive player. Ole Miss had some in over the weekend, and so now there's a little drama about that, but you got a good linebacking group, coming in, but this 2025 season is going to be defined on what happens this month in the NCAA transfer portal. And I think whether you're Coleman Hutzler or Jeff Levy or David Turner or anybody, if you're on the Mississippi State payroll, this is perhaps the most important month of your tenure at Mississippi State. So
yeah, I think it's career suicide. I mean, I think it's, if you're, first of all, you're going to take a massive hit regardless. Let's just say they let go of Coleman Hutzler and landed on Jeff Collins, which would be like a grand slam. And and let's say your floor needs to be Todd Grantham, who I'm still a little shaky, but he'd be a massive upgrade. But I don't know how Todd works in the modern era, so I got to see some things and hear some things. But whatever, he's done it. To me, I mean, like, I wouldn't do that. It would be like me covering, me waking up for the next 3 months, Steve, and deciding to cover Kansas City Royals baseball every single day on this show, and thinking that I would keep the same listenership and revenue and advertising. Is the equivalent of keeping Coleman Hutzler. Would that make sense to you if I told you I was going to do that this afternoon?
Absolutely not. And I think that's an interesting euphemism because of the fact you've got to give people what they want, right? And that doesn't mean letting them make all the decisions. I mean, we've got some people out there that think they should decide uniform combos and even call plays and things of that nature. Conduct a Twitter poll to decide who's going to be coaching.
Right.
I mean,
but I'm not worried about any of that. This is a big boy deal,
Exactly. But if you just got up one day and said, you know what, I'm going to, we've built this show on sports and we're going to make it a cooking show, chances are that you're not going to have your advertisers renew. You may pick up some other ones, but you're probably going to have to sell that condo. You know what I mean? I mean, that's the reality of that, and so when I think about Mississippi State football, when I think about season ticket renewals next year, and I think you and I touched on this off air, but it's the Sky Dog people that it impacts the most. Like there's some people, you guys that you mentioned, that sit between the 30s and the sky boxes. They're never going to give up their priority points, right? They're going to come here and they're going to be around their friends, but the feeder program for future lower bowl season ticket holders is going to come from the Sky Deck. And when you think about that aspect of it, hey, I've enjoyed being a season ticket holder. There's a sense of pride with that, right? You feel like that you're a stockholder.
Sure.
Thing. I'm not just coming to a game every once in a while. I'm a season ticket holder.
Yeah.
And then you say, you know what? Eventually, I'm going to upgrade. I'm going to get in the lower bowl, and well, if you're a first time season ticket holder this year, and you go 2-10, and you think maybe there's more of the same next year. Well, you're certainly not going to upgrade your tickets. You're certainly not going to go to your wife and say, hey, listen, I know we spent a couple of grand this year. I'm going to double down next year. And we're going to spend maybe $5,000 and, give a big donation to the Bulldog Club to improve our priority seating. Well, that's just not going to happen, And so when you do things like this, I think that's who it impacts the most, are those future season ticket holders that eventually become the lifeblood of your program.
All right, 15 seconds. Tyler Lockhart to Mississippi State or Ole Miss?
I expect him to stick with State. I think it'll be a fun 72 hours, but I think in the end he should stay.
Okay. And we have a $100 dinner bet, right?
We do.
All right. Commodore Bob's or Restaurant Tyler or whatever on Coleman Hutzler staying or going.
Well, if you win, we're going to McDonald's. So.
All right. Be good, buddy. See you, man. All right. GenesPage.com, 247 Sports. Steve says he believes Coleman Hutzler is staying. I don't believe it because I just don't think people are that crazy up there. But maybe I'm wrong. Let's discuss on the other side what Steve Robertson said. We've got an SEC Insider hit coming up next. Plus, it's National Bartenders Day, and I'm going to have fun with that.